Everyone, welcome to our 26th episode of Brew Talk with Mr. Beer. My name is Robert Lewis, your host for today. Got a solo show for you guys. Hopefully it'll be quick, a little more basic knowledge, but well, some good stuff for you. Thanks for taking the time to watch and tune in. Before we dive into our topic, let's talk about what I got drinking today. This nice, dark, delicious beer is our American Porter standard refill, perfect for this time of year. I think all of our dark beers are just phenomenal beers. Perfect to brew for winter, get you ready to go. So today's topic is going to be kind of simple, pull things back a little bit. It's a question I've seen once or twice in our Facebook group, and we kind of get posting in general and some other things. Basically, we're going to do the difference between a DME and a LME, which obviously, it will help you make a decision if you're wanting to kind of make your own recipe or design your own thing, which I think will help it kind of if you want to go mad scientist a little bit. So the main difference is pretty obviously. One is a powder, one is a liquid. It's pretty straightforward when you're looking at it from that aspect. I guess the main difference is kind of the way you use them and kind of the flavors you can get out of them. So when we talk about LME, it's actually pretty simple to use. It's kind of just like brewing with your hopped malt extract. But it offers a little more versatility. Since it is unhopped, you can do a little more things. So basically with an LME, you're able to kind of do a hop boil with the LME. You just want to make sure that when you're doing it that you're mixing it fully into your water. So mix it so it's fully dissolved. You don't want it to get scorched when you're bringing it up to a boil. And also when you're boiling LME, it will darken your final result a little bit. So if you're wanting to brew like a super light pale ale or an IPA, just keep that in mind for what you're choosing, because the LME will darken your beer. It's just it is what it is. That's kind of what it does, especially when it's boiling. The malt extract just gets a little darker. So if you're going to do like a stout, good to go. If you want to do a lighter beer, just be cautious of what you're boiling and what you're doing. When you're using a DME, there are a few things that you will want to know. The first is that when you're going to dump the DME into, or if you just dump the DME into your water when it is already boiling, it will get very gummy and kind of just clump together. I don't know if any of you have done that from experience. The first time I used DME, I had that as an issue. It was just a total disaster. I think I had everything that can happen go wrong with that. So it will clump together. So you always want to make sure that you add your DME when the water is coming up to a boil. You want to add a little bit at a time and keep mixing it as you're doing it. Keep stirring it up till it's dissolved. This will help make the whole process easier, instead of just dumping it all in and trying to sort that mess out. Also, if you're just using DME for your hop boil, you want to make sure that you're waiting for the hop break before you add your hops. I made this mistake the first time I brewed. I mixed up my DME, poured it in, let it boil, and I thought, I'll just bring it to a boil, and I walked away, and the foam rised and overflowed and made a huge mess on my stovetop, which is just a disaster. So basically DME, a thing called hop break. The foam will keep on rising. You have to keep mixing it up to kind of let that foam go back down. When you hit hop break, you will notice that the foam will subside and it'll just look like a regular boiling water, or wort is what I would call it. So it'll be a boiling wort instead of this foamy kind of contraption up and down. So you want to make sure that you are doing that. Pay attention. Don't let the DME sit there and just boil and walk away, because you'll come back to a giant mess that is not fun to clean up. Pro tip that Zach gave me. If you want to keep like a spray bottle handy, so have a spray bottle with clean water, and you can just spray the foam when it gets high, and that'll help pull the foam back down. So another kind of tip there you can use when you're brewing with DME. So thanks, Zach, for that tip. Ooh, getting a little full beer here. All right, so that's kind of the difference in how you use each one, and the difference between what they do. So let's talk about kind of a difference between obviously what they do to your beer. So one is the color effect. Using DME will help preserve lighter color in your beer. So if you're wanting to brew like a light lager, Pilsner, Pale Ale, IPA, any of those things, go with the DME for this instance, because you can add in more malt to get that ABV up there without really darkening your beer as much as using something like a liquid malt extract. Liquid malt extract is obviously much easier to use. So if you're new to brewing or kind of designing your own recipe and are unsure about it, I would go with an LME to be safe than sorry. If you're doing DME, just make sure you're paying attention to what you're doing. You're following all the steps, following all the rules. Don't let it sit there by itself. You will regret it once it overflows and causes all kinds of issues. As far as flavor goes, I think personally it's hard to tell, but there have been some people that says that brewing with LME does create a more pleasant flavor in your beer versus DME. I don't know. I guess that's more of a personal preference. I haven't really noticed a difference. It's hard for me to taste the difference between what you're doing and what you're not doing. I just think you make a good beer, you're good to go. I think that's what we're all about doing here, is just making good beer. One thing also, another tip that I got, is that DME is more concentrated. so it can kick up your ABV with less. You can use less DMV, DMV and ABV are very close together. So you can use less DME and it'll pick up your ABV a little more. So just, these are kind of all things to keep in mind. But I think in the end, it just comes down to your personal preference, what you're comfortable brewing and what you're trying to brew. I mean, if you really want something that's light in color and you want to hold that consistency and have a light beer, then use the DME and give it a try. Just make sure you're paying attention and waiting for that hot break. Once you get past that point, it's smooth sailing from there. It's just the beginning process can be a little tedious. If you're wanting to brew like a porter or a stout or something like that, use the LME. It makes the process easier. You can brew it quicker and you can get more creative with different flavors in that aspect, like adding coffee or coconut or peanut butter or all that stuff like that. All these crazy recipes that you guys are creating in our Facebook group, which is really cool. So let's kind of wrap it up for today. Like I said, we'll keep it short and sweet today. We appreciate you taking time to watch. We hope you learned something. We do put our videos up on our blog page, mrbeer.com/blog. Make sure to check it out. We got the transcripts on there also. That's probably the best place to check out our videos. We also put them on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Mr.Beer, on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Mr.Beer, on our Instagram page, instagram.com/Mr.Beer, and on our Pinterest page. Got them everywhere, wherever you like to enjoy your social media. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up, comment, like, share, suggestions, questions, anything that you want to hear from us. Just let us know. We're always available. We're always on, responding and stuff like that. Also, if you want to learn more about Mr. Beer or just brewing Mr. Beer, I need to recommend strongly that you join our Facebook group. We're like almost 550 people strong. It's cruising along. We have new members every day. There's cool recipes, pictures, tips, ideas. I take pictures out of there. We post them on social media, all kinds of stuff. It's a great place to be. Hang around, talk to fellow brewers, check out their setup. Some people got some amazing things going on. They're brewing some amazing beers, some amazing creations. So join our Facebook group. You can find it by searching Mr. Beer's Brewing Society on Facebook, or go to our Facebook page, go down to group and click join. You have to answer 3 questions. If you do not answer the 3 questions, we'll not let you in. They're super basic questions. Please answer them so we can let you in. If you're new to brewing and want to learn about brewing, please just comment in there with your questions, just saying, hey, I'm new, but I want to learn. And we'll let you in so you can learn and get ready for the hobby. Get ready to start brewing, because once you get started and you enjoy it, it becomes quite an addiction. And before you know, you got 30 fermenters going at one time. So we'll wrap it up now. We'll see you guys next week. I hope you guys have a great week. Happy brewing and cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.